Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm coming back to show you how I created this crochet purse. It's really cute and I feel like my beginners can even probably catch on if they follow along with the tutorial, either written or the visual one that I'm going to do here. This pattern was created as a part of a blog hop that I'm participating in, so there will be a written version that I will be giving away for free for one day over to my website to check out the details for that. I did use the WeCrochet yarn Mighty Stitch in a bulky, and I used a few skeins of that, so I'll have all the details over on my website, as well as a 3.75mm crochet hook. Now that's a small hook, but I needed that to create the bag with the crochet bottom. You'll need a yarn needle, and then I also used some wooden handles. So you only need two, but I just had a couple here to see which one I liked better. Okay, so the crochet bottom that I'm using here, I'll link in the description box again where I got this from, but I like it because it has the little feet and it really kind of upgrades the bag from handmade to boutique style, and I like that about this bag. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with creating the crochet bottom, how I attach the yarn to the crochet bottom. So go ahead and just, first things first is you're going to tie the yarn to the crochet bottom, and I just did that by looping the yarn on and then kind of pulling it through, and then I'm just going to tie a nice little knot. That's it. Okay, once you have that, you'll slip your crochet hook back through that same space, and you're going to pull up a loop, pull through a loop. Essentially what you're doing here is you're going to create a single crochet stitch in each hole. So essentially what you're doing is you're making 2 single crochet stitches in each hole. Okay, wait, you're actually going to do 1 single crochet stitch in that first hole. So just follow along. Okay, so insert the hook, kind of pull the yarn back through the hole, and just take your time here, guys, because honestly this probably was the longest part of the project. Okay, and then you'll do it again. So you're going to do 2 of these stitches into the same space. See there? Okay. And I'm going to show you this a few times, that when I've created a bag similar to this before, that was one of the #1 questions I had, was how do I get the yarn to the crochet bottom. So if you follow along here, I think you'll be able to catch on with what I'm doing. So it's just like I'm making a regular crochet stitch, but I'm pushing it through the pre-made holes that are on the crochet bottom. And I'm putting 2 into the same space. Yarn over, pull through, insert the hook again, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through. See there? And you're just going to continue working that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. So you see how it's looking very neat, guys, and that's what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll show you how I ended it. So again, we're in that very last hole. Now if you remember, we started this with 1 single crochet stitch, because that first one, remember, we tied it. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow along here what I'm showing you. There's only 1 in that very first hole, so we're going to put our last one in that hole. That's going to get everything pulled together. Do you see? So now we have 2 single crochet stitches in every stitch around, and that essentially gives us our beginning foundation for the project. And now at this point you should probably be comfortable. You're not having to it's like working in a foundation chain. Okay, so then what I'm doing now is I've chained 2, and I'm going to do a single crochet stitch in every single stitch around. So let me see. Okay, I'm looking over here on my website for the pattern. There are a total of 76 stitches. 76 stitches. There was 38 holes to begin with. Remember, we increased it by doing 2 slip stitches in each hole. So now you're working with a total of 76 stitches all the way around. And I'm going to create, this is my initial round. So I'm going to, my round 1 is basically 76 stitches. Okay, if you want to add a stitch marker there to help you show where you begin, you can. I didn't find it necessary for this project because I kind of ended up working in a spiral in a sense. But if you think a stitch marker could help you stay focused, then that's cool. Okay. You just work yourself back around until you get to the beginning, or in my case, the stitch marker. And then you're going to do a single crochet stitch there. That kind of look okay. So we have one whole round completed. I'm going to remove that stitch marker for a second. And then I'm going to chain 2. Now I chain 2. It's not necessary to chain 2. You can chain 1. It just helped me kind of create a height around. So that's why a stitch marker wasn't necessary for me. I was able to see where I started because it's a little bit higher than the previous row. And then again, you're just going to go around. I'm just showing you. You can put the stitch marker back if you want, but you don't have to. You're going to go back around just like you did the first time and do single crochet stitches in every stitch around. So in this case right now, we're going to just do 76 stitches all the way around for a few rounds. It might be easier for you if you go over to my website and pull up the pattern and go along kind of with me so you kind of see what I'm talking about. But this is going to get you started. Okay, so just keep working, placing a single crochet stitch in every stitch around. And I liked using this yellow canary color yarn. It's really pretty. I wouldn't necessarily put this at the bottom of a purse, but I wanted you guys to see the stitch work, and that's why I went with a lighter color. But I think it would be really pretty if you had like a darker color at the bottom and then it kind of transitions up to a lighter color. I just wanted to make sure that I could show you what I was trying to get accomplished, and that's why I used a lighter color. Okay, so complete this round and then we're going to switch out to a new color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to another color. So I'm just going to show you how I added yarn. Okay, so just like I'm going to complete that first single crochet stitch, but I don't complete it all the way through. I put the new yarn on and then I finish making the single crochet stitch. Okay, you can connect yarn however you want to. You can tie a knot to the end, however you see fit. You just want to change the yarn color so that we can start making the bag what we want it to look like. Okay, and again, we're just doing a single crochet stitch all the way around. And now the bag that you'll see over on my website, it's a little different because again, I used a darker color at the bottom and then I used a lighter color to make the bag. But in this tutorial, I'm using a lighter color at the bottom and then I'm making a darker color at the top. And again, it's really just for tutorial purposes so that you can see it. And I really liked it. The bag turned out beautiful both ways. But that's why I'm using, if you go to my website and look, you'll see that the colors are different just because it's easier to show you guys a lighter color. So again, all the way around until you get back to the start. So I kept with this color up until round 5, I believe. And then we switched colors again. I do believe. Yep, okay. So here we are. Now we're working with this celestial blue. This is another color from WeCrochet Mighty Stitch. Very pretty. It's like an electric blue. It really is pretty. And I'm going to do a single crochet all the way around with this one. Now we're going to carry this yarn throughout the project, but I want to show you what I had to do in order to start our pattern. Okay, so stick with me here for this section. We got to set up our area for our pattern. What that means is we are currently doing 76 single crochet stitches all the way around. That's what we've been doing up to this point. We have to do it in an increase round because we want, in order for our pattern to be set up correctly, you have to have it in a multiple of 3. So that means we're going to have to add 2 stitches in this round. So only thing that I do to add 2 stitches is, as I'm working around, I will just put 2 single crochet stitches in the same space, and I'll do that twice. And I don't make it complicated. You just pick somewhere within this round and increase it by 2 single crochet stitches. So that's all you're going to do in order to increase your round from 76 to 78. 78 is divisible by 3, and that's going to allow for our pattern to be able to set up properly. So this is the pattern that we're going to end up creating. So stick with me here, but just do an increase of 2 single crochet stitches in this round. Okay, just a note, on my website on the pattern, I do the increase round in round 5. Here I'm doing it in round 6 only because you can see it easier with this celestial blue color. What we'll do to start our pattern, y'all, I went ahead and just kind of showed you about using these yarn needles. This is really just to show you that I skip 2 stitches and then create the cluster. So that's what the needles are going to show you. Start with a chain of 2, which is going to basically simulate our single crochet stitch, okay? Then in that same exact space, we're going to do a half double crochet stitch. Okay? In the same exact space, we are going to do a double crochet stitch. So basically we're doing a cluster of 3 single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet in the same space. Okay, see that there? We're going to skip 2 stitches. So I went ahead and just kind of showed you what that looks like using these pins. Definitely not part of your project. I just kind of wanted you to see what I was trying to illustrate. So you have 2 spaces, and then you're going to start your next cluster of 3. So you skip over 2 and into that next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. Okay, the initial cluster that we created, I did it with a chain of 2. That was to simulate the single crochet stitch. I just did it in 2 stitches because it's higher. You can really see what I'm doing when I come back around. Okay, in the next space where the next needle is, that's technically 2 spaces over, we're going to do the cluster again. Okay, single crochet, half double crochet, and then a double crochet. So I hope that makes sense, and that really is the pattern, y'all. So once you get it set up, then you can work the bag however you want. That's usually how most crochet patterns work. See there? And I'm going to tell you, trust the process with this, guys. Just let it work, because as you're working this bag, you're going to say, this doesn't look right. But as it kind of grows, you'll really start to see the bag take shape. So don't get discouraged. Just trust the process. Don't overthink it. If you miss a stitch, whatever, just keep working. Those little imperfections are not going to mess up this bag too bad. You know what I mean? It's still going to look really pretty. Skip 2 stitches into that next stitch. You're going to do the cluster again. Okay, so I'm going to let you pause this video and just kind of keep working. Keep working. It turns out really nice, I think. All right, see here, now this is how it's shaping up. Again, to me this looks like a butter dish. But you have to trust the process. It will start shaping up like a tote in a little while. Okay, so here we are at the end. We have 2 stitches that we skip over, and we're going to go right back into that very first space with a single crochet stitch. That's it. Chain 2, and we're going to start the process all over again. So right in that same space that we did the chain 2, we're going to do a half double crochet, and then a double crochet, because remember that chain of 2, we're in this tutorial, we're making that our single crochet stitch. Typically when you do the chain, one chain would simulate a single crochet stitch, but in this I wanted it to be a little higher, so that's why I did it as a 2. Okay, so you're gonna keep working. Like I said, you're gonna trust the process. I'm gonna show it to you again. When you get over here to that last stitch, you're skipping over 2, do a single crochet stitch. Okay, I slip stitch to join the round. You do not have to do this step either. I just liked it to look a little bit more neat and consistent. Whatever you choose to do, you want to continue that all the way through, otherwise you'll throw off your pattern. Okay, chain 2, and then right in that same space you're going to do a half double crochet and then a double crochet. See there? That's your cluster of 3, and you're going to continue that around. Right. Show it to you again. See that space right there? That is what you're working in. Single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet. Perfect. So anyway, that's why I said this is kind of beginner friendly. If you know how to do a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet stitch, I think you'll be able to soar through this. You just have to be mindful of your pattern when you're getting everything set up. If you don't know how to do those stitches that I named, I do have tutorials on my channel. I will link them in the bottom, the description box, on how to do those type of stitches so that you can come back and then work this project. Okay. See how pretty that turned out? I love that. And again, I used that lighter color bottom. Probably wouldn't do that otherwise if I wasn't doing the tutorial. And again, we're finishing up round 21. So this goes 21 rounds. And I think like 5 of those rounds are the single crochet stitches at the beginning. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and change the yarn color again to kind of bring everything together. If I had more yellow yarn, I would have used yellow to kind of bring the whole bag together. But however, I ran out of yellow because I already created a bag using yellow. So I'm going to just use this navy blue color here to kind of finish off and tie off the bag. But if I had yellow, I probably would have used yellow. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a single crochet stitch all the way around. So in every single stitch, you should end up with 76 at the end. If everything works out, excuse me, if everything worked out properly, you should have 76. But if you don't, it's okay. It's still, I'm sure it's going to turn out beautiful. But you want to have 76 stitches going around with that solid color. And again, this is an optional step. I just think it kind of finishes off the bag really nicely. Okay, that's what you're looking like. It's perfect little tote. I think it's really, really cute. Wear it with some jeans while you're going out to the mall with your little wallet or whatever. You can put a little snap on it. The purse that I have a snap on it to keep it closed. So you're going to go ahead and fasten it off. Now at this point, if you don't want to use your wooden handles, you can create crochet handles. You can make straps, you know, just make a chain stitch, make it as thick as you want, a couple of rows, and then that could also be a cute little handle option if you don't want to use the wooden handles. All of these ends, you want to weave those in. So what I did was I pushed them to the inside of the bag, and then I kind of weaved them through. And now as far as the handles, I went ahead and went with these 4-inch round handles. I thought that they fit the bag nicely. You can figure out however you want to put the handles on the bag. If you want to measure across, get a good measurement, figure out where the center is, kind of what I showed you there, you can do that. You just want to make sure that it mirrors front and the back. Or if you want to just eyeball it, that works too. You just, again, want to make sure that you mirror the front and the back, okay? What I did here is I just tied the yarn to the bag, and then I'm going to start sewing the handle to the bag. You can crochet around, which is what I did in the other bag. It's easier, I think, if you sew it. So basically what you'll see here on the screen, I'm just looping the yarn around the handle through the stitch, around the handle through the stitch. And I do this all the way across until I feel like I have a really nice foundation for the handle. This is all preference. It's what you want to do with your bag, okay? As you can see, that's what it looks like in the first round. I go back down again to give it that fullness, that complete look. And I then turn the bag over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, any tails I have, I'll weave those in. I mean, and that's pretty much it, guys. This is the final look of the bag. You can kind of, like I say, customize it any way you want to, change out the colors, add any kind of hardware notions that you want. You can put some little furry palm puffs on there, some tassels. It's really whatever you want to do to kind of finalize your bag. I like to put this little I guess just like my little label my little label on some of my bags that I really like to showcase. And then if you see the one on my website, I have leaves on there. There is a tutorial that's not mine that I'll link in the description box below on how I created those leaves. I think it was a really good tutorial, and I think it's easy enough for you guys to follow, so I'll link that there. But anyway, that's it, you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, leave them in the description box down below. I'll see you next time. Bye.